My name is Lanz, and I am an SDK engineer with Embrace. I've been doing iOS engineering for about 10 years and engineering generally for about 15. Usually we're here to talk to mobile engineering teams directly on how to integrate SDKs or think about crash reports and logging, that kind of stuff. But today I want to talk to a different audience. I want to talk to mobile VPs, directors of mobile, CIOs, CTOs, people who are managing multiple mobile applications in their organization. These people are encountering unique challenges these days where, each mobile team might be integrating completely different SDKs into all of these internal apps. Some of their internal apps might have no SDKs in them at all. Generally, the problem can be very hard to deal with if you're just coming into a role like that, like if you were just hired on to a company or something. So I want to give you a little bit of advice from an engineer on sort of how to think about the data coming out of these SDKs and how you can use it to optimize your entire organization and not just the engineering teams. So the first thing you should think about is getting all of your teams to use the same tools. We have another video on that topic that you can go watch. After you've watched that, come on back and we'll talk about the data. So now that you've got all the teams using the same tools, you have the same kind of data going into these dashboards. You might not look at them. Probably your engineering managers are looking at those dashboards multiple times a day to understand how their apps are performing, if the new version is being rolled out successfully, all that kind of stuff, right? But you might also want to take a look at those dashboards because the data in them is actually going to be really interesting to you. And let me try to explain why. So if you're running, let's say, an e-commerce site and you have a customer support team and maybe a QA team, the customer support team is fielding questions from the field. Those questions are coming from users who had a problem with one of your applications. If that application had an SDK that was reporting logging or reporting crashing or reporting analytics back to a dashboard, your CS team could use the data in that dashboard to do some basic triage on that issue. They could find out, is the user calling in a paying user? Are they like a really highly paying user and we should just bump them ahead in the support queue right away? Those kind of optimizations. But also some issues can be solved solely by looking at the dashboard. For example, a dashboard might tell you that this user's network connectivity was just really bad. And then the CS rep might ask them why, and they say, oh yeah, I was driving down the road in my car while I was using this app. And that issue doesn't even have to go to engineering. It can stop right there at CS. The CS person can apologize, field the question, and you're done with the issue. So in a lot of ways, the data coming from these SDKs can actually save your organization time and money beyond just the engineering integrations and solving those crashes at the lower level if you bring that data up to a higher level in your organization and get it out to all these teams. Another really important concept is your QA teams. So if your QA teams can learn to use these kinds of dashboards, they can also do some basic troubleshooting on their own, which is going to save your engineering teams a lot of time and money. For example, QA teams are often testing in parallel on a QA environment or a staging environment where devs might also be messing around. And when things don't work, they have to go right to the devs and ask, hey, were you deploying something? Was a server down? Is everything okay? If they had access to the dashboard data, they could actually just look at their own sessions and say, oh yeah, actually the server was down at that point. I don't even need to go and bother engineering. I know what happened and I can probably fix it myself. So yeah, the purpose of this video was to try to help you understand different ways to use the data coming from these SDKs to help optimize your entire organization and not only thinking about it in terms of the mobile engineering teams. I hope this was valuable to you. Again, my name's Lanz. I work for Embrace, and have a great day.